Unacademy. Let's crack it.
People say there is a lot of corruption in healthcare system all over the country, not only Punjab but everywhere, even in the center also. Supposing you are appointed as the health secretary of Punjab, what initiatives you will take to reform the system?
Sir, in the
Remove
short
corruption particularly.
Yes, sir. Sir, in the short term, I think I would move towards stricter legislation. The suspension or revocation of the license of such doctors who are caught should be there so that it sets a good precedent. But in the long run, sir, I think being the Health Secretary of Punjab, I would send a recommendation to the National Medical Commission to, sir, include an element of ethics in our curriculum. Currently, sir, there is only a little bit of medical jurisprudence that is taught to us. And for example, like in the case of UPSC, there is a separate ethics exam. And for the USMLE, for admission into a US medical school, there is a separate exam for ethics. So I think, sir, an element of ethics or a separate subject if added to the medical curriculum can help us in engaging the young doctors who are from the ground itself. Also, sir, regular sensitization and awareness campaigns about ethics should be done for the established practitioners from time to time, sir.
Very good.
Aditya.
Yes, ma'am.
Aditya, do we import drugs or do we export drugs?
Ma'am, we actually export the active pharmaceutical ingredients or the APIs from China, and we heavily import such things.
So
ma'am.
you're saying we import APIs from China?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what do we export?
Ma'am, we export the finished drugs or the generic drugs majorly to the African market, ma'am.
All right. Aditya, can we get... by when do you think we'll be able to get over the drug bans that we have? Can we remove them and just move to all generic drugs? Is it possible?
Ma'am, I think that as we have discussed that the out-of-pocket expenditure is very high. So, ma'am, generic drugs is the need of the hour. But at the same time, ma'am, certain disorders like epilepsy and cardiac disorders, they need drugs that are of excellent quality because even a small dip in quality can lead to the death of the patient. So I think for that, for those drugs only doctors generally recommend the branded drugs, and it is really essential at this point of time. But if proper quality control for the generic drugs is done and we are assured of its quality, I think we can move forward towards it.
Did you follow the budget this time?
Ma'am, I have read some points about it, ma'am.
Give me a snapshot of India's economy right now, as mentioned in the budget.
Ma'am, India is expected to grow at a rate of 6.8%. Ma'am, the health sector, it last year had a budget of 1,07,000 crore, but this year it has decreased to 1,06,000 crore, which I think is a cause of concern. Also,
What about the forex?
ma'am, the forex is around 550 billion. It had touched an all-time high of 600 billion last year, but now it has subsequently decreased because of the geopolitical tensions that are existing.
And what about current account deficit?
Ma'am, I know the fiscal deficit, ma'am, which is around 6.8%. But ma'am, I don't have any idea.
It's all right. Aditya, I was just wondering, does yoga cure any disease?
Ma'am, yoga certainly is very essential because most of the diseases that we have are lifestyle disorders like hypertension, diabetes, obesity. These are all lifestyle disorders. So yoga has been proven to reduce stress, calm the mind, and hence these lifestyle disorders can be totally eliminated by yoga, ma'am.
Aditya, what can we do to bring tribals into mainstream, and why have we failed at it?
Ma'am, I think first of all, the Forest Rights Act should be properly implemented in letter and spirit so that the tribals get their due remuneration. Also, I think, ma'am, the minor forest produce can be expanded so that tribals get more of them. Also, I think, ma'am, percolation of the education, health in the tribal sector can help them in integrating with the mainstream society. Setting up small cottage industries or MSMEs will help them to trade better and integrate as a part of India, ma'am.
Aditya, my last question to you would be, you're very young. How old are you?
Ma'am, I'm 24 right now.
You're 20?
4, ma'am.
24. Let's say you become the civil servant that you want to become, and you join your office and there's a pregnant woman who comes late every day. People have suggested her to take maternity leave, but she's saving it for later on because you see you only get a few months of it. In that scenario, what will you do?
Ma'am, I think I will first discuss with my colleague that what is the issue, why is she not able to come on time. If there is something that we can do, for example, sending a car maybe, So that, for example, if her travel is full
You
of
will send a card for her?
ma'am, if her travel is full of hassles and she is not able to come timely due to some transport issue, then I think,
But
ma'am, we
wouldn't
can
that
provide.
be a wastage of resources of exchequer?
But I think, ma'am, if 1 or 2 hours of that employee is wasted every day, she could contribute better to our economy and the society, ma'am. So I think in case if that is not possible
And
she
you are
is
also
not able to commute,
misappropriating the resources in that case, aren't you? Are
ma'am,
you authorized to send car for someone who is not entitled for it?
ma'am, I think that if it is a necessity for an employee that he or she is physically not able to come to the office and it is of dire emergency, then I think we can do that. But at the same time, I think, sir, ma'am, a letter of application can be sent.
But will it be sustainable, the solution you're proposing?
Ma'am, it would be sustainable in the short term only, not in the medium to long term. I think, ma'am, an application should be sent to the concerned department if the leave
Okay,
can
let's
be
end
granted
this conversation
earlier,
with you telling me the biggest failure of your life.
The biggest failure? Ma'am, I do not see things as failures or successes. I just see them as part of my experiences. Even my coming here or my succeeding or not succeeding in the civil services will not affect me as a success or a failure. Rather, it will be an experience from which I will draw. I draw experiences from my successes as well as my failures, ma'am. So I don't think I have any
So you've
specific
never failed?
such. Ma'am, I actually do not see them as
All right.
successes or
Thank you.
failures, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Certainly so.